What's up YouTube, and welcome to yet another Flash video. So we had our mid-season finale, we had our lovely Christmas end to this episode. So I really enjoyed it. I loved the whole Earth 3 thing, the nice little Mark Hamill trickster Easter egg at the start, seeing him briefly. Fortunately, I wish he had been in this episode more, but alas, he was not. Now, it would have been cool seeing him more in the episode and somehow being like a kind of subplot, maybe. But, you know, I guess he's busy filming, obviously, episode 8 of Star Wars. So, there is that. So, we get a Mark Hamill over in that. One thing I'll say, he was a bit too much like the Joker, I think, in this episode. But, who knows? I think he was. Some people don't. But maybe it's a good thing we're seeing him be the Joker. The closest thing we're going to get to a live-action version of Mark Hamill being the Joker. So, a lot of big things this episode. It seems like Jay Garrick knows a lot more about the Speed Force than Barry by quite a long way. He's heard rumours and all these things about the Speed Force. So, sometimes we forget that lives are being led and had on these other Earths fully. So, lots of different things are playing out, and he has a lot more Speed Force knowledge, even though he's not actually from the same dimension as our Earth 1 Barry. So I'm interested to see just how much more he knows about the Speed Force. I find it kind of weird that the trickster would be caught so easily in a kind of simple robbery. Who knows? He's easily going to break out. Maybe it was a cry for attention, but whatever. But it's cool seeing our Jay Garrick over here in the show. It's fun seeing John Wesley Shipp as the Flash, as Jay Garrick. It's proper cool seeing him. And he looks, I would say, more convincing as a superhero than Grant Gustin, personally. I know that's very controversial, but that's the way I see it. So, it was a really neat episode. I loved the homage to Indiana Jones at the start when we saw Julian take the stone and it possess him. So what's pretty neat is I thought that he would kind of again come round to the good of him. So he was just a bit of a dick, but he had his reasons, and also he was alchemy because, you know, he was possessed by some kind of stone, and he is giving off major Silver Surfer vibes. So Savitar is, I expect, going to cause multiple problems across the dimensions, which I think will probably lead to that kind of crossover with Supergirl again. So we're getting a musical crossover, so that's probably what's going to happen there. He's probably going to come over, but, you know, there's this thing called Savitar. Yeah, he's causing a lot of problems across the multiverse. But it's interesting to see the Galactus Silver Surfer thing. That's the first thing I thought when he said that he's a herald and he's preparing the world for him. How he's preparing it is not too actual clear in my eyes personally. But, you know what, we'll probably find out later on. And what's interesting to see, is there different alchemies across the multiverse, or is it one and then he prepares all of them? Well, who knows? We know that there's timeline issues there. Now this leads us to the big thing at the end, which was seeing the future. We've seen the past, we've seen other dimensions, but we never have actually seen the future. We've had Cisco vibe to see what could have been if they made different decisions in the past, etc., or whatever in the different multiverse, but we've never seen the future. Now, I'm hoping that this doesn't become as common as Barry going to the past, and hope it doesn't be a common thing of him actually going to the future to sort things out and fix things. But it looks like the second half of the season will be Barry having this knowledge over his head, and him and Jay Garrick have this to themselves. So what I think is really neat how they've done this, they've positioned Jay Garrick in a way that he is still playing that father role, that mentor role to him, which is really nice for Barry, obviously, because his dad is actually dead. So there's that. But I'm hoping that they do this very well. It's not kind of... It's interesting to see how he's going to fix this, because he's going to have to let this happen, or is he going to make these 6 months or 5 months the best they can be? Is he going to do it that way? Only time will obviously tell. But he's going to have to deal with that. He's going to have to deal with that looming threat. And now we've kind of lost the mystery of this first half of the season. We had this, who is Savitar, we don't actually know exactly who he is. But we know who Alchemy is. That mystery's gone. So we don't have an overarching mystery for this latter half of the season. But I'm sure they'll add something there in the second half. And we'll probably get more Monster of the Week episodes again now that the Monster of the Week that Alchemy has created are kind of gone. Or is he going to replace him? But overall, I really loved this episode. It was really fun to watch. And I really love the aesthetic of Earth 3. So that's it for this video. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.